Hey everyone, welcome to the Guiding You Forward podcast. And today we're talking about managing our money in uncertain times. And we have Robert Steed on the show with us today. Welcome, Robert.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Yeah, and Robert is on our financial education team, and he is the manager of that team. And we're just going to get right into it, Robert. So,
Great.
How do we recover from financial losses? Let's say, in uncertain times, what do we do?
That is a great question. There's a lot of things you can do, a lot of options, but one of the things to maybe consider is to not allow those financial losses to make you choose more financial bad decisions. Or to make those bad decisions, right? When we experience financial loss, there's a lot that goes along with that. Money is a very emotional thing. It's symbolic. It's how we accomplish our goals and our dreams, right? It's connected to all of those things. And so when we experience loss, it almost feels like we've lost a loved one, even at sometimes, a goal, something that we've been really straining for or striving for. And so if we allow that emotion to flood our mind, it's easy to make those knee-jerk reactions. And suddenly a loss leads to another loss or another bad decision. And so it's really good to take a breath and allow you to refocus on your long-term plans and begin to align your behavior with what it is that's really meaningful to you.
I love that you said take a breath.
Yeah.
Breathing has become like the most important thing for me.
Yeah.
When you feel that stress building, wherever it builds for you, for me, it's in my shoulders, right? As I'm typing all day and looking at my phone and doing all this, if I can just breathe, relax, I make such better decisions, right?
What that allows to happen is it makes the moment momentary, so to speak. I know we go through financial ups and downs a lot. In fact, recessions or market corrections are very common every 10 to 15 years. It's almost a predictable pattern. And so to remember that something like that is going to happen once or twice in your financial lifetime, maybe even 3 or 4 times, it's very good to be able to pause, recognize that maybe you were planning on that, or you've got things in place, or if you didn't, take an opportunity to make sure that you do the next time. But really taking that pause and aligning yourself with what's most meaningful to you, your goals and your values, is a great thing to do anytime there's financial uncertainty. The emotional part of our brain reacts way quicker than the rational side does. And so what kind of helps keep us focused is if we can really connect all of our financial behavior back to what's most meaningful. We call this the alignment model.
Okay.
And so when you're creating your financial plan, your budget, a long-term investment plan, whatever it might be, it's very helpful if you start with what's most meaningful. Those things, a lot of times it's things like a family or safety, security. For some, it's adventure, whatever it might be. But you start with those larger values. And from there, your goals begin to get clarified. I value my family and security and safety. Therefore, I want to purchase a house in a particular neighborhood, within this cost. And so therefore, I know how much I need to save for that. And so when you get in that emotional situation and you're thinking about doing something that maybe doesn't line up with your values, if you've written that down, you can start to see, this doesn't align with my values and the behaviors that I have listed out. I'm going to be okay. I've still got a long-term plan. And you begin to continue to align your behavior with what's most meaningful to you.
I love that. The question I have, obviously, which I feel like is crazy more prevalent right now with all that we're going through than maybe it is at a typical time. Although I think it's increasing for us overall as a society, is anxiety. What do we do when it comes to anxiety and the anxiety that comes with making those financial decisions? Because I'll be the first to say, and I've worked for a financial institution in the financial industry for over a decade, and it still is there. When it comes down to making that decision, that anxiety creeps up. What do we do to overcome that?
There's a few that you could do with that alignment process that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
What's very helpful is to get somebody else involved.
Okay.
Right. And so I'll throw out something by Warren Buffett. He said that to do these kinds of financial behaviors, right, to invest or to budget or to plan successfully over a lifetime, it doesn't require a stratospheric IQ. In these moments of anxiety, you don't need unusual insight. What you need is a sound intellectual framework for making decisions.
Okay.
And so, and then a way to keep emotions from corroding that framework. And so that sound intellectual framework comes by creating that plan, creating that alignment. And then to keep emotions like anxiety from corroding that, oftentimes it's very helpful to include somebody in that process. Make yourself accountable to somebody who's not as emotionally connected to our money. When we experience that losses, they haven't necessarily experienced that loss because it's not their money, so they can help keep that bigger picture in place. And you're kind of setting yourself up for success by allowing somebody who you know, who loves you, or can at least help you keep accountable to your plan, to be a part of that.
So is that person that we're making a part of that to hold us accountable a family member, a friend? What?
Oh, that's
someone we hire?
That's a great question. My recommendation, what I've seen be most successful for people, is usually somebody who, it's somebody who can kick you in the shins when you're about to do something that you shouldn't.
Okay, all right.
That's the way I like to put it. My wife and I, we talk about our financial plan, right? And then she'll call me up and she'll be like, Robert, something is for sale and I really wanted this and it fits perfectly. And I'll be like, yeah, I know, you should just get it. Like I can't hold her accountable, right? I have a hard time with that. And so it's got to be somebody who can listen, but who can also push back when needs be. And so it could be somebody you hire. Mountain America, we offer a service, personal financial counseling.
Okay.
We got a financial guide that could also be somebody that you could report to, that somebody you could talk through those plans with, and it could help you kind of set something like that up. But that's kind of the key. It's got to be somebody distanced enough to not give in, but also loving enough and empathetic enough to understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling.